Hey, we're back. We're talking about how to rekindle a relationship where the flame is going out. So we had a fire in the fireplace this morning.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, very nice, but over time, fires dwindle out.
Right.
And so we were just talking a little while ago about left to itself. You put the wood on, you have a nice rip-roaring fire, it's snapping, it's warm, it's just a beautiful fire.
Yeah.
But if you don't take care of that fire, if you don't keep adding to that fire and keep that fire going, it's going to die out.
Right.
And it becomes, this morning it was just a log with some, gray
Little bit of ember,
ash,
yeah.
little bit of ember. There
A
was,
little bit of smoke.
yeah, there was a little bit there. I
Uh-huh.
mean, underneath there was some hot coals. There was something there, but
Right.
the fire was going out.
Flame was gone altogether. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is that like our relationships?
Same thing. We can have this great relationship where we're connected and interacting and loving and everything's great. But if you don't keep doing things that keep that going, and we'll talk about some of the things you can do to keep that going, but it's the natural thing to happen is that it will die out.
Right. The flame goes out. So
Right.
you get married, or you're dating, and it's hot. You got this great relationship, and you're active, and you're doing all kinds of things.
And
And
spending lots of time together.
lots of time, a lot of activity, a lot of conversation, a lot of communication. You're asking
Mhm.
questions. You're going
Yeah.
deeper.
Trying to find out all we can about the other person.
And it's a fire. It's going. You
Yeah.
love being around each other. You get married, and things start to change, and you're not talking as much. The questions and the dialogue is more shallow, surface. You just kind of stop.
That might not happen right away. It
Right.
might not happen for several years, but without intention,
Yeah.
it will happen.
Without doing something on purpose.
Right.
So what we're talking about today is what's something. There's lots of things you can do.
Mhm.
Lots of things you can do, but we wanted to focus on something. Something that you can do to rekindle, to add new life. We were talking a little bit about just that. Even if you can smother a fire,
Right.
so it's dying out, and you put this big old log on it,
It doesn't work.
it'll smother it.
Yeah. So you have to do little things.
So in a fire, that'd be like kindling.
You have to add kindling. You have to maybe add some brush or straw or some grass or something. Thinking campfires all of a sudden. I don't know why I switched to outdoors.
Camping?
Yeah. But same concept. So what we're going to talk about today is one of those pieces of kindling that you can.
So I love this topic, and a great book. It's on our resource page. It's called Cherish. It's probably one of the best books I've read this year. I love the book, love the concept. It's a great book. But I've been thinking a lot about it. We just did a wedding in Phoenix. In most all the wedding vows, and I would say, the majority of people who get married, somewhere in those vows, this word cherish shows up. And we actually make a promise to cherish our spouse.
Right.
But I wonder how many people really stop to consider what that means. It's hard to do something if you're not even sure what it means or what it is.
Yeah.
So we can say cherish your spouse. Love, honor, cherish, those words that we use, and we stand before a crowd of people, and we make a promise that I promise that from this day forward I will cherish you. I wonder how many people really are doing it, or even know what it
Or even
is.
stop to think about
Yeah.
the vows.
Yeah. So to cherish, the dictionary talks about cherishing from something that we value and treasure, and we protect, we hold dear, and so that's what we want to talk about. So I've got this picture. It's on our webpage on a blog we did about cherishing of a hot rod. You love cars. We've never restored a car, but that's kind of a common thing that we can probably associate with is the restoration of a car. What did you say a little while ago?
67 Mustang.
67 Mustang.
Yeah.
Why did you say 67 Mustang?
Because it's just a great car.
It's a hot car. It's a great car, and so you take this old car and you restore it. You add new life to it. You bring it back. It's got this great paint job. It's got the rims. It is like all done right. How are you going to take care of that 67 Mustang?
Very carefully.
Very carefully. Why?
Because it's precious. It's a treasure.
It's precious.
Yeah.
It's a treasure.
It's fragile.
Yeah.
Could be easily injured or scratched or anything can
You
happen.
just let anybody drive it?
Oh no.
No. You're gonna, a lot of people who.
I wouldn't even let you drive it. Just kidding. Just kidding.
A lot of people who restore cars, they keep them under a cover.
Yeah.
It's protected.
Yeah.
When they buff them, they're cautious about what they use to actually rub that down. There's this picture of rubbing it down, buffing it with a diaper. It's soft and it's it's gentle.
Some people go to such extreme in protecting it that it never leaves the garage.
Yeah.
I think that would be a waste.
Yeah.
Again,
you want to go show it off.
I would
Which
want to
is
enjoy
another
it.
thing that it comes into this whole idea of cherishing. It's I want to show it off, but I want to protect it, but I want to show it off.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about this now, we're getting a picture of something that we treasure. That's our spouse. That's what it should be like with our spouse. Mm-hmm. Is someone we treasure, and we treasure them so much that we're going to protect them, and not just physically protect them, but we're going to protect them emotionally. We're going to, you don't talk trash on my wife. If somebody starts talking bad about you, that gets me upset. That's my treasure that you're scratching. You don't treat her that way. And yet, how many people, as the relationship goes on, begin to dent and scratch and harm their treasure, that possession that they have that is so precious, that with their words and with their actions, even the joking about, and my wife, she, and they tell jokes that are harmful, and they dent and they scratch, and pretty soon, that which was such a precious treasure is
it's really the opposite of cherishing.
Yeah. So what would cherishing look like in a relationship? When you think of cherishing, and how that adds new life to a dying relationship, why choose cherishing as one of the things that will bring back life? Of all the exercises we could do, what is it about cherishing, and what does it look like?
That's a really good question. I think that it's one of those things that you can do every day. So it's kind of like kindling in that way, where you're not just, say, a log, putting a big log to smother that fire might be telling your spouse that we need to have a serious talk, and it's going to take 2 hours.
That would smother me.
Yeah, especially if you're struggling in your relationship, But if you're able to do just little things, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, but on a consistent daily basis. So a little thing like fixing your breakfast, getting you a cup of coffee, refilling your coffee, asking you if you want a snack or something. If I'm going to the kitchen to get something, I ask you if you like something. That just shows that I'm not just out for myself. I'm not just taking care of me, but I care about you, and you are on my mind. You are right there all the time, and I'm thinking of ways and things that I can do that would be helpful to you, that would be uplifting to you, encouraging to you, all those kinds of things. To
So
me,
I think
is cherishing.
there are things, I think it comes back to even what we talked about in our last video on love languages and communicating your value. Somehow, if I cherish something, I value it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I value you, how am I going to treat you? I'm not going to be critical. Criticism scratches the relationship, but I'm going to be uplifting. I'm going to be encouraging.
Right.
I'm going to build you up. I'm going to help you become your best self, but I'm not going to tear you down to try to build you up. I think little things, you know, it's even a sticky note that says I was thinking of you and I value you and I care about you. I think even like for you, that when I hold your hand in public, that communicates to everybody around. It's a public expression even. I think one of the things that says I cherish, that communicates cherishing, for some people, not everybody, but for some people, is that public admiration, public adoration. That you put a post out on Facebook. You know, I think, and we do things intentionally. So I put a post out there the other day when we were driving back from Phoenix that I love this woman. And I put that out. I communicated to everybody around my feelings for my treasure, that I love you. And I think that does something for people when it's like, you just told the world how special I am to you. That's like that car. You want to take it out of the garage. You want to go show it off. Walk through the mall. She's mine. Look what I got. This is my woman. This is special. This is somehow communicating to the world around us. That does something in you. That buffs you up.
Yeah.
That makes you shine. That puts a glow in there. And I think that's what we're talking about, is little things that can reignite that. But cherishing, I think, really comes down to an attitude. I think cherishing is an attitude that I have about my spouse. Do I really internally in me view you as a treasure, as a something extremely delicate and precious and a treasure, something that I hold dearly and I protect, and I'm going to protect you. But that's an attitude that starts. I think cherishing starts inside. Cherishing is one of the things that I think comes from a heart of an attitude that is inside of me. And I think a lot of people don't have that attitude. They don't hold that value. They don't see their spouse, their relationship, their partner. They don't see that person as highly valuable and delicate.
I think too, just a little side note, I think that we attach kind of a feminine thing to cherish. So like, we're saying our vows, we say them to each other. I say them to you, you say them to me. We're saying the same vows. We're both use the word cherish.
Yeah.
And yet, from that point forward, I think, generally speaking, as a wife, I want my husband to cherish me. But I don't really think that much about cherishing my husband.
Yeah, you really ought to think about it.
I do now, but I didn't. I think it's really common because for some reason, cherish has become more of kind of a feminine word. It's not. It's for both. It's a human need. But that's just a thought that occurred to me as we're talking about this.
So I think one of the things that we're trying to communicate is that if you spend some time intentionally cherishing, revisit that word in your relationship and intentionally cherish your partner. It'll bring life back to your relationship. And it could be that on the other side of that, you need to think of, look at your relationship and ask, what am I doing that is denting and scratching and harming my relationship? What's my words towards my spouse? Am I really treasuring them? Do I treat them that way? Start treasuring your spouse and watch it bring life
Bring
back.
the fire back, bring the flame back.
Bring the flame back
Yeah.
into that relationship.
Yeah.
So last video we talked about the love languages and how to have a strong, healthy relationship through use of the love languages, learning that, to being a student of your spouse. This week, how to rekindle a relationship where the flame's going out. The next video we're going to do is what do you do when the flame has gone out? And there's some things that you can do for a broken relationship and how to rebuild a broken relationship, and we'll give you something that can start. Get back on a journey of rebuilding a relationship where it just seems like there's nothing left. So, anything else?
No.
We're glad you're here. I encourage you to love on purpose, live intentionally, and go be extraordinary. We can choose to live extraordinary lives and have extraordinary relationships. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us today.
Check out our website with resources to help grow your relationship at xtraomarriage.com.
That's xtraomarriage.com. Like our Facebook page and share our content with your friends on social media.
Make a decide and set your intention for an extraordinary marriage. Start today.